What's up, guys? Got a special video for you today. It's going to be a bait review comparison, and it's going to be kind of a challenge type video. It's going to be similar to my live target frog versus sunfish video. Today I'm going to be fishing two baits that are similar in nature, and they're kind of buzz bait style baits. What I'm going to be fishing and comparing is the Larry Dahlberg Whopper Plopper. And I'm also going to be fishing a bait you may not have heard of, and that is the BK's Grass Burner. So the Whopper Plopper, pretty cool looking bait. You know, it's got this tail that spins. It gives it that kind of kicking action. Pretty nice detail in the design. And the Grass Burner, this is a handmade lure. This looks like it's got a wooden body. I would assume silicone skirt. Very nice and realistic paint job, as well as detail to the carving of this bait. And here is the spinning blade. But as far as the BK's Grass Burner, I was introduced to this out in the California Delta, and I was fishing with my buddy Josh on his boat. I was fishing a frog, I was fishing topwater, and he was throwing this weird looking bait that I had never seen before. To make a long story short, he smashed like, I don't know, 25-30 pounds of bass. I didn't do that well, but he crushed them. Just a really good alternative to a buzzbait, something different. And for whatever reason on the Delta, the big bass smashed this thing. For this competition, relatively the same size bait. This is the bigger version of the Whopper Plopper. The Grass Burner only comes in one size, black and yellow. We're gonna just keep it similar colors. I didn't know where I was going to fish. I'm here in central New York. I'm in the Finger Lakes, and I didn't know where I was going to fish tomorrow for these particular baits. It is mid-September. The fish are starting to move shallow, so that's a good thing. But you know, with this style of fishing, it can be hit or miss. If they're biting on top, especially the buzzbait style baits, you can really smash them. But if they're not, you can goose egg real easy. I know that I want to fish these baits around grass, so I'm actually picking the canal that, if you watch my other videos, I frequently fish. I'm fishing the canal because there's essentially grass lining both sides of it. I think that would just give me the most opportunity, the most targets to fish these two baits. Tomorrow I will be fishing for 8 hours total, and I'm going to split up the day. I'm going to fish 4 hours in the morning. I'm going to fish from 6:30 to 10:30, and then I'm going to come back and fish from 3:30 to 7:30. Basically, I am going to fish each bait for 1 hour, and then I'm going to switch to the other bait. That will give me a total of 4 hours with each bait alternating. I would be happy if we caught, you know, if we got 5 or 6 bites tomorrow. It's kind of the deal with these two baits. They're big fish baits. Here's what we're comparing tomorrow. We'll kind of see which one outperforms the other. Okay guys, it is just about 6:30 in the morning. So let's see which bait goes first. We'll say heads is the Grass Burner and tails is the Whopper Plopper. It is heads. So I will be throwing the Grass Burner first for the first hour, and then every other hour changing. So our first 4 hour session will be 6:30 to 10:30. Let's see what happens. It's definitely darted out right there. big fish. Alright guys, it's been an hour. Time to switch over to the Whopper Plopper. Big buzzing bait. Alright guys, it's been an hour. It is 8:30. Not a single bite on the Whopper Plopper. So back to the grass burner. Smallmouth in the grass burner. Every time I cast down this grass line, you probably see it right now, you'll see tons of shad flicking. See? There's just tons of bait lined up right along this grass line. So you'd think there'd be some fish here. This stretch of the canal, and why I typically don't fish it that often, today was kind of a gamble. You know, despite there being lots of bait fish, lots of shad, bluegill, I just don't think there's a lot of big bass this time of year in this particular part of the river. Well guys, a little bit of a change in plans. I was initially going to go back to the canal, like I said, at 3:30 and fish till 7:30. Finish up the last half of the day there. But based on this morning, I just don't have a lot of confidence in that area. Instead of going back to the canal, I have decided to drive about 2 miles the other direction, which is Cayuga Lake. I actually haven't fished there at all this year, so I have no idea what condition the lake's in, but I do know it has some grass. I'm going to be fishing the north end of the lake. So that's the plan to finish up the challenge, is to fish my last 4 hours, 3:30 to 7:30 on Cayuga Lake. Hopefully we can get a few more fish, finish out this challenge on a strong note, so stay tuned. So pretty windy, not ideal conditions, definitely a lot of grass out there. So hopefully we can find some pockets where we can actually fish these baits. Yeah, you know, there's a million other things I would do before I would throw these baits out there, but that's what the challenge is. That's what makes it a challenge, is we have to fish just these two baits. So it's about 3:30 right now, so we're going to get started. And we will start with the Whopper Plopper. Yep, that pretty much sums up the 4 hours of fishing this evening on Cayuga Lake. The conditions were just not conducive for this style of fishing. These competitions are kind of tough, especially with this style of fishing. When they're on this type of bite, it's very specific. You know, when you're fishing these baits and you're getting bit, it's usually the way the fish are setting up. They'll set up a round grass or a round structure. Today, based on the conditions, I would imagine that they were in the grass. So unfortunately, I didn't even feel like I was presenting my bait to a lot of fish. But in summary, overall, really enjoyed fishing both these baits. The grass burner ended up catching the only 2 fish of the day, a pretty nice largemouth and a smallmouth. And those were the only bites I had. One thing I did like about the grass burner was that it was a lot more weedless than the Whopper Plopper. This came through sparse vegetation a lot better. And I think that probably has something to do with the hook placement and the fact that it has a skirt. Today didn't go how I had planned it or how I thought it would go, but that's just how it is when you're fishing topwater, especially these big buzzing baits. I don't think I'm going to do another comparison video between these two baits, but I definitely am going to continue fishing them. So I'm hoping to eventually put out a video just kind of showing some catches on these two baits, and another review after I've fished it more. If you guys are interested in either of these baits, especially the grass burner, you guys probably know where to get the Whopper Plopper, but especially the grass burner, I will put a link and some information in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed another comparison video. They're fun to make, and I will see you guys next time.